as soon as the government realizes that we've got to get everyone vaccinated, infants right up, from infants on. I mean, I think when children are 18 months old, they get a battery of
Henry, can I ask you what your medical qualifications are?
Well, Andrew, I work in a hospital. I'm a very smart man.
Right, I'm not disputing that, but the thing is, you're saying you're making assertions. You're making assertions, and you need to be able to back up those assertions if you're going to make them with qualifications.
No, look, I disagree with you, Andrew. If you listen to a battery of medical advice and you use critical thinking, you can come to the judgment.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but the point we need to make, and you need to understand, and others need to understand who are listening, is you're making assertions without any fundamental qualifications behind those assertions. You may have all the common sense in the world. You could be right, Henry. You know what I mean? If when you're making these sort of assertions, you need to be able to back it up with something like qualifications.
You check out anything I've just said to you, Andrew, and you will find that the medical consensus is what I'm saying.
I'm finding the medical consensus is divided. That's what I've found.
Well, I don't think you. I think people have to get a broad spectrum of information and not rely on one or two internet sites.
Well, I'm not talking about internet sites. We're talking about credible individuals, credible professionals as well. There's mixed messages out there, okay? And I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. As far as I'm concerned, the jury is out until probably 10, 20 years from now when future societies can look back and say what we got right and what we got wrong.
Well, Andrew, if one has the power of critical thinking, you go through all the data, and I can tell you, if you check with medical professionals, they will support what I'm saying.
Well, it depends on which medical professionals you're talking about.
No, if you go
Henry, it does.
No, look, okay, look, I'll leave that one. There's no way I'm going to convince you, but I'm just telling you, Andrew, that if people use their powers of critical thinking, they can come to the right conclusion on the data that is presented. The right conclusion.
So that means they'll agree with you, is what you're saying, Henry. So that's your idea of critical thinking. As long as it falls into line with what you think, then it's right. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Look, that's exactly what you're saying.
No, look, come on, you're.
I'm spot on. I've called you out. I've called you out is what I've done, Henry.
Oh, look. You haven't called me out at all. It just shows that you don't have the critical judgment.
No, that's right. I don't.
Is necessary.
That's exactly right, Henry.
If you're going to put me down like that,
I'm not putting you down. I'm not putting you down. All I'm doing is challenging you, just like you want to challenge me, like you want to challenge others. That's all I've done. But if you don't like you being challenged, I mean, that's up to you. But if you're going to come on air, expect to be challenged. And I do it to you, I do it to others, others do it to me. That's what it's about, Henry.
I don't mind being challenged if the challenger has the data to reject what I'm saying. But
Henry, I can't. Well, you don't have the qualifications to make the assertions that you're making and make it sound as if you are an expert on that particular.
Well, look, as I'm saying, you check with the epidemiologists, and they will support what I'm saying. I don't really care, Andrew. If you're not going to believe what I'm saying, it doesn't really bother me.
Good.
But what I was going to say was
Henry, I just want to make a point. I haven't stopped you from saying what you wanted to say. All I did was challenge what you wanted to say. Do you understand that?
You can't stand the fact that I might know what I'm talking about.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all. It's not true.
I'm not going to. Okay. I'm not interested, Andrew, in listening to people's aching backs or the.
And how many people come? How many people come on my program talking about aching backs?
A lot.
Oh, rubbish. Nobody comes on talking about aching backs, Henry.
I'm using that as an example.
Well, it's a crappy example, and it's disingenuous, thank you very much, when it comes to my program. Because nobody talks about that. We talk about issues, thank you very much.
No, you
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
Oh,
you have a lot of people who talk about personal problems.
talk
I'm
about,
not interested in that. I'm interested in topics of general interest to the audience.
Of course, and so am I, and I take every call as I find them.
Well, it's a pity you're so narrow-minded.
I'm not narrow-minded at all. I'm actually, hey, Henry, as I say, have I stopped you saying what it is you wanted to say? Have I?
To a degree.
No, I haven't. I've challenged you is all I have done, Henry.
You didn't
challenge
me. You just made the statement that I'm not a medical
well, no, I asked you the question.
So
are you a medical professional?
I'm not, but I don't.
No, there we are. You've just answered the question.
No, but come on.
You make assertions. You make assertions, you say they're based on these facts, which you have looked up. I don't know your sources, Henry, but you've made them up. You present them as if you are an expert on the topic, and then I called you out on it. That's all I've done.
Well, you had no right to call me.
I have no right. That's exactly right. I have no right. I should be ashamed of myself. Well, Jono, can you bring in a whip so I can self-flagellate for a while? Because no, I'm not missing the point. No, the point is, Henry, lovely to talk to you. You have yourself a lovely evening, all right? Take care. 8223 is the number. It's 29 minutes after 9 here on 1395 Adelaide's 5AA. All right, we've got SMSs coming in. Karen says, hi, Andrew, what in the hell is Henry talking about? I'm a critical thinker, but saying all this is true is rubbish. Injecting babies is genocide. Thanks, Karen. Isabel says, Andrew, this F-wit needs to be neutralised. He has one hell of a nerve. I detest this serial pest. Thank you, Isabel. Doctors that speak out against the injection are threatened with deregistration. Henry says, is Henry friends with Tom Cruise? Jenny says, you do not need to read this out. Thank you, Andrew. Henry may indeed be a very smart man, indeed, but all I've heard him is preach his opinions without anyone questioning his qualifications. It's about time someone called him out and challenged him with some actual truths. Thank you, Jenny, and that's all I did. I didn't stop him saying what he just said. I just challenged him, and that's my job. Another SMS says, Andrew, it's good to hear this conversation with Henry tonight. John says, Andrew, Henry gets his data from China, as he said on Christmas Day. He's an atheist and wants to live in a I can't even say that word right now, a totalitarian society. He hates democracy in a country like Australia and also freedom of speech. Anthony says, blacklist this argumentative a-hole. 10 out of 10 response, mate. And what's another one? Elaine says, Henry, you're entitled to your opinion. The rest of us are entitled to ours. I'll be absolutely and completely devastated if my children get my grandchildren vaccinated. The vaccine does not stop the spread, and that is a fact. It is not effective enough against Omicron. That is a fact, and there's just not enough known about the long-term effects. I, for one, do not want to risk my 12 grandchildren's health. I'd rather take the chance of them building their own immunity and fighting this COVID without the farcical vaccine. Cheers, Andrew. You stick to your guns. Elaine, thank you very much. I'm doing my best. What is this? This is another SMS from Marty at Salisbury Heights, who says, thank you, Andrew. Henry is old and vulnerable, unconcerned about his own welfare. He has an opinion on everything and thinks he's an expert on everything. The medical fraternity is backed by the multi-billion big pharma. Thank you for putting Henry in his place. Thank you for being fair and open. Love your show. Marty, thanks very much for your message as well. I've got more SMSs, more calls as well. We'll continue to be interactive, and I'll continue to be open and fair as I possibly can. And again, I'd just like to reiterate, when it comes to SMSs, when it comes to emails, I will, to the most part, read them out unless they're defamatory or something along those sort of lines. But just because I read something out doesn't mean I necessarily agree with it, okay? I'm just acting in the interests of fairness and giving people an opportunity to air their opinions. And in my opinion, that's what Talkback Radio is meant to be all about.
From the 29th to the